Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we have an all new round of speed reviews. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so I cannot believe we are already at the end of August. I am of course incredibly excited. I love the fall, but I cannot believe it's the end of August. I decided for this month for my speed reviews, I think I want to do them ranking style. I typically just go through everything, but I kind of want to do it ranking style this month. So let's just jump right into it. Coming in at number 7, this will not be a surprise, but this is the Too Faced Better Than Chocolate palette. I wanted to love this. I think the packaging is beautiful. I think the mattes in here are great quality. It smells good. It's the shimmers that really ruin the palette. They're kind of dry. They're kind of chunky. They're just really not high quality shimmers. Overall, this is a palette that I can definitely use. I'll definitely reach for because you can get some really great neutral looks out of this. It's just that I find some of the shimmers are just really inconsistent. For example, the I'm the Dessert shade I think is beautiful, but then you're over here with Ooey Gooey and it's more of a topper, and then this beautiful purple shade has like no purple pigment. It does not look like that when you swatch it. And then this shade here, Reality Chalk, I just found so chunky. So that's why this palette ranked in the it's just okay. It's not a bad palette, but it's really not top notch either. It's pretty, it's workable, but I think what really frustrates me with this is that they've increased their prices, but their quality has not improved or even stayed consistent. So for that reason, I don't highly recommend this. I think if you really want this one, or you just like collecting their tin packaging palettes, I would wait for a sale. And if you can get it on a steep discount, I think you would be okay. I think you would enjoy it. For me, it's just not a favorite. It's not bad though. It's just not a favorite. Okay, coming in at number 6 was a mascara I tried for the very first time. In a recent video, I did a whole deep dive on the history of Nars, and I pulled out a sample size of the Nars Climax mascara. I know this has been around for ages, and I feel like I've heard very polarizing opinions, to be honest, and I didn't really like it. It didn't do a ton for my lashes. It was fine. It was better than some mascaras I've tried. It's definitely the type of wand that I enjoy. It's that really fat wand that I do really enjoy. But I just didn't find I got a lot of volume. I definitely didn't get a lot of length, but I expected a lot of volume, and I certainly didn't get that. And then I also noticed later in the day that this did smudge pretty badly. So that's just not my favorite when something like, say, my Rare Beauty mascara never smudges. It just always stays looking beautiful on the lid. So I really would pass on this one. Okay, a product I'm not sure if I have mentioned. I don't think I have, because I've really been going back and forth trying to figure out my thoughts. But this is the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink. And this is in the shade Koi. So this is like a really pretty pinky shade. And these came out, I believe, way back in the spring. And a lot of people were just raving on and on and on about how long lasting these are. And they are essentially like a liquid lipstick with a gloss top coat all in one. So here's my thoughts. I love the Maybelline Superstay lip line. I love their matte liquid lipsticks. I love their pencil lip colors. I think they're gorgeous. And to a certain degree, I do like this. It definitely does last a long time. The glossiness will wear off and you'll just be left with the lip color, but it definitely does last all day long, which I really do enjoy. My beef with this is that I do not like things that are sticky, and to me this just ended up being really sticky. Once the gloss was gone, I just felt like it just retained this tackiness that I just really didn't enjoy. So for that reason, these aren't my personal favorites. I really like the NYX Shine Loud formula with the glossy top coat. It's not all in one like this, but once the glossiness wears off, it doesn't stay sticky. So for that reason, I do like that formula quite a bit more. Really, really wanted to love these. I just don't love them as much as a lot of other people seem to. Coming at number 4, I put the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Light Illuminating Smoothing Concealer. So I do have a full wear test on this one, and I like this one. It's definitely a more hydrating formula. It's definitely got a radiance to it. I really like the shade that I chose for myself. This is the shade Oatmeal, and it's a really perfect shade if you are near my skin tone. I like the unique shape of the doe foot, but I will say the doe foot really does not pick up a ton of product. I noticed that the last few times I've used this, that it picks up the littlest bit on the tip, and then you have to kind of keep going in, which on one hand is kind of nice, because when you think about it, if you get too much product, then it's just going to look heavy. But I did notice I had to dip into the tube a lot. So if that's something that bothers you, you might not like the applicator on this one. I think the packaging is absolutely stunning. I do like to powder this down just because it is radiant, and it will keep that radiance under the eyes. So if you really don't want to draw attention to that area, then this might not be your favorite. I also wish that this had a little bit more coverage than it does. It doesn't have a bad amount of coverage, but I would definitely give this more of a medium coverage. I don't find it very buildable. I don't think you're ever going to be able to build this to a full coverage concealer. I think it's a solid medium. I like to add a little bit of my Dior Powder No Powder over top because it is a bit of a tinted powder and it's not heavy, so it really gives me that extra little boost of coverage I need. And then this works out great. So overall, I quite like this. It's not my favorite, although I don't dislike it either. It's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. Okay, coming at number 3 is another product where I have a full wear test, and this is my Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. Okay, so this one I really do like. I think the formula is great. This is a solid medium coverage foundation. The bottle is beautiful. It does come in a glass jar with a really nice high quality pump. Really like this. The shade that I picked is Ambient 1.5. That is a perfect shade for me as well. This is a very expensive foundation. This retails for about $75 Canadian. So that's a lot of money for a foundation. And this looked absolutely beautiful on. It really did. I loved the effect on my skin. And this really did hold up really well for, I would say, a good solid 6 hours. But after that point, I found it just started deteriorating, which was really strange. I definitely put it through its paces that first day I wore it. I really, I did a lot of things in that first 6 hours and it looked amazing. After that, I was doing a bunch of work around my house and it just sort of broke down and it was a mess. So I will say I don't think this is very long lasting. I think this maintains itself and its structure for the first 6 hours, but after that, it's not incredible. So I would say this is a really good, could be an event foundation if that's your preference, because I think it does look incredible for the first little bit. I would compare this almost to my Nars Light Reflecting Foundation. They definitely have that sort of radiance to them. They both give that medium coverage, that radiance. They make the skin look super healthy. But the Nars lasts much longer, much longer. So I do still recommend my Nars foundation over this. I do think this is beautiful. If you picked it up, you're not going to be upset, but I would say save a few dollars, stick with the Nars. I do think it's better, but this is not bad at all. So I had to pick for number 2, and I went with the Dior Rosy Glow Blush in the shade Pink. This blush has been going viral online, particularly within the last year. There was a rumor at one point that this is what Kylie Jenner wore, and I think it ended up not being this. I think it ended up being one from her own brand. But it caused everybody to buy it, and then everybody who bought it fell in love with it, and then Sephora could not keep it in stock. I finally found it in stock and I really do love it. I am wearing it today, so it's definitely not, as you can tell, it's definitely not as intimidating on the cheeks as it is in the pan. If it was going to be this vibrant, you could tell I am so pasty white, you would know. It definitely shears out very easily as well. It is also very, very long wearing. So I do love this. I will say it is incredibly expensive. So if this is not a shade you're gonna super love, then definitely pass on it. It is very, very, very expensive, but as you can see, it's definitely not as bright and vibrant on the cheeks as the pan makes it look. So it's definitely a very wearable blush. If this is one that you would use every single day, then absolutely it's worth it because it's really going to stick around. And for a blush to last all day long, that is a pretty high quality blush. Blush is usually the first thing to go, but not this one. So I would definitely recommend this, but only if you're going to use it a lot because it is so pricey. Coming at number 1 is a product I don't even think I've had the chance to talk about on my channel yet, but if you regularly check my description box, you've probably seen it there a couple times. This is the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. So I got this because it was in the BoxyCharm drop shop. I've been wanting to try Lunar Beauty for a while because I'd heard good things about the formula, but I think the shipping was just a little pricey. But this palette, this is me in a palette. This is so me. This is so neutral. Some pinkier shades, some brown shades, but just so incredibly neutral. There is something incredibly special about these shimmers. There's just something about them. I love these shimmers. I can't say enough good things about how much I love the shimmers. They are so shiny. I love them. And you get a nice big mirror in here too. The packaging is absolutely beautiful. His formula is amazing. I was not expecting to, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this. I was not expecting to fall so madly in love with this palette, but I absolutely did. I really wanted to try Lunar Beauty. When I saw this color story, I knew this is definitely one I would get along with and I would want to reach for all the time. And this did it for me. I love this palette. If you're thinking about getting this one or you've been on the fence, this is your sign to absolutely pick it up. This is beautiful. And that is it. That is all we tried for the month of August. I feel like I didn't try a ton, but at the same time I kind of did. But that's because I've been anticipating all of the exciting new releases that are inevitably going to be coming this fall with all the holiday releases. So I am waiting on those. I am planning to be very busy this fall. So that is why August was a little bit more quiet, but after that, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate it so, so much. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. And that is it for me today. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!